Further discussion? I'll ask for a recorded vote. All those in favor? Or sorry, I'll leave it to to Hope. Thank you.
Councillor Mackay?
Yay.
Councillor Regier?
Yay.
Reeve Miller? Mayor Johnson? Councillor Olmsted?
Yay.
Councillor McLaughlin?
Yay.
Councillor Jackson?
Nay. No, you're not alone. Carried. Next item on the agenda is the Ori's solar project lease. Jim Buckingham. Do you want us to do this first and then? Okay. I have a motion in front of me, moved by Councillor Mackay, seconded by Reeve Miller. Be it resolved that the Corporate Services Committee of the Township of Whitewater Region authorizes Ori's to submit microfit solar project applications for 11 municipally owned sites: Beachburg Arena, Cobden Arena, Haley Station Water Treatment Plant, Haley Station Fire Hall, Forsters Falls Fire Hall, Forsters Falls Library, Westmeath Waste Management Site, Westmeath Arena, Ross Waste Management Site, Westmeath Public Works Garage, and Mindview Public Works Garage. Any discussion? Any questions for Mr. Buckingham? Christine?
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to make note, Jim and I have had several lengthy conversations over the past couple of weeks, and getting these applications in and approved and back by the end of the year still does not commit you to anything. But that's the paper trail, the timeline that has to happen. And then the lease, which Jim can address tonight, there's been some changes in the percentages there. That can be negotiated in January. But the big stumbling block now that we've already got the application in to secure the 2015 rate of 38.4 cents, as I've noted in the background in my report, that's the urgency to this paper trail, is that we're running out of time for 2015 to get them in, approved, and back. And then we can decide if we want to poke holes in the Beachburg roof, or if the land mass is stable enough at the Westmeath old landfill site or whatever. But that's the cart and the horse.
Councillor McLaughlin.
I think when Jim was here before, there was a little bit of discussion over did we own all these properties. That's been clarified, has it not?
Correct, we do.
We do, yeah.
Councillor Olmsted, then Mayor Johnson.
I know you can't give details about it, but can you just discuss quickly why the change in the percentage? I know initially it was up to 30%, now I believe it's up to 20%.
The simple payback. The simple payback on these projects, if I just look at annual revenue paying off capital, the cost of the systems, varies depending on whether you have rooftop units which attract a higher contract rate, or ground mounts which attract a lower contract rate. So in the case of Whitewater, we have a blended revenue, half of them being ground mounts, half of them being rooftops. So the payback, just on a simple basis, is about 5.3 years. If you then subtract a percentage from year one in terms of a lease payment, that obviously extends the payback period to between 7 and 8. We have a 10-year amortization promise from our financial lenders, so I'm just a little bit cautious in terms of not offering too much too quickly, and we end up overstepping the market in terms of payback. The revenue ultimately accrues to the municipality anyways. It's just a case of whether you get more now and less later, or a little bit less now and more later. And I did mention to Christine, I see she's included it, I think, in your package, is the little 4-page document that I only recently came across, which was an amendment to the shareholders agreement, the 4 municipalities that make up the ownership of ORES, which, for those of you who don't know, stands for Ottawa River Energy Solutions. Maybe a little bit of history too on who ORES is. You are one of the shareholders of ORES. We are a municipally owned corporation. Our sister affiliate is the Ottawa River Power Corporation, so we kind of work hand in hand together on a lot of things. The whole purpose of me being here is to promote the solar initiative, which in simple terms is just a amazing opportunity for municipalities such as yourselves to benefit from the 20-year guaranteed revenue stream that these energy contracts will afford. I'm sure all municipalities are looking for other sources of revenue. This is one great idea. So I've been motivated on this since I was asked to by Dennis Montgomery, the president of ORPC, to help him push this initiative into a point where we are today. I think his initial idea has borne fruit. We have received the support of the ORES board in this. We are, as well as talking to yourselves, talking to the city of Pembroke, the town of Mississippi Mills, Killaloe, and yourselves. So we're all at the same stage. The current lease document that you have has undergone a number of changes. It is still a bit of a work in progress. The point I would make today is not to worry about the boilerplate, if you like, in the lease document itself. As Christina said, that can be held over until later for further discussion. What you really should be concentrating on is the framework within which the lease is just the motivating document. Christine mentioned the time frame for 2015. The IESO, which is the Independent Electricity System Operator, who administer this 20-year energy contract program, have been gradually reducing the rate that they are willing to pay for renewable power generation. Like any industry, there's a lot of subsidies up front. Once the industry gets established, the rates come down. That is exactly what's happened with solar. 5 years ago, you could get 80 cents a kilowatt hour for solar. Then it went down to 54, then it went down to 39, then it went to 38. Next year it's going down to 29. I don't know whether you've seen what's happening to your power bills, but they are going exactly the other way. And it's reaching a point where this program, in fact, will be phased out. And you'll be looking not at a fixed contract price, but an energy displacement opportunity, namely being able to avoid buying the power in the first place. That, in my way of thinking, is probably only 1 or 2 years away. In fact, some people say it's already here. So the purpose, there's 2 points that I wish to make here. One, if we make the applications on these 11 sites for you, as Christine said, it does not commit you in any way to proceed with the projects. What it does do, however, if we apply for the projects, we receive an initial response, we talk to our LDC, that's in most cases would be Ottawa River Power or Hydro One. They respond saying, yes, we're good to connect you up. That information gets fed back to the IESO, who then advise us that we have reached what they call an application approval notice. All we then have to do is go build it. We then have 180 days, in point of fact, to go build it. But once we get to that AAN, which needs to be before the end of this year, we secure this year's rate, which is 25% better than it will be next year. So if we start doing this in January, yes, we can still do it in January, but we have lost out on a lot of revenue. So I'm really pushing this point. Again, I stress this does not commit the municipality to proceeding with projects. I certainly hope that they do, and I would see no reason why they wouldn't. But at this point, we're looking for two decisions, I guess. One, yes, let's go ahead and make these applications for you. And secondly, the lease document, which has undergone a lot of legal insurance comment. Mississippi Mills have taken this probably the furthest. They've had their lawyers look at it. They've had their insurers look at it. You have really got the benefit of that in the current version of the lease, albeit it's not the best version. I believe it didn't even say. It actually says Mississippi Mills.
Mayor Johnson?
So that's really where we're at today.
I think we're confusing kind of what we're asked to do with this motion with opposed to your presentation should come after this motion. This motion to me is key because exactly what has been said by Jim. When you get a no risk, you go for it. So I would say let's move on to a vote and then we can listen to the presentation.
There's no presentation that I'm aware of
Yeah,
that's
I was
on here.
invited to come along to address any questions the committee
We've
might
had a
have.
presentation.
I
on the
certainly
lease.
apologize
I can
for
give
that.
you a bit more background onto what is all happening here, if you
Okay.
wish. I realise you're
I think we're
short of
good. I
time
think
here, so
with regards
I will
to
keep it
the,
as short as you want me to.
Yeah,
perfect.
Okay.
I think we had a presentation the last time and all those were covered. Does anybody else have any questions with regards to this motion? Did you want me to read the motion again, or is everybody good?
Good.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Thank you very much, Mr. Buckingham. Our next item on the list is 2016 capital budget presentation. I'm wondering if we couldn't jump ahead to the crossing guards report. I see Dave Shields, the public education public board trustee, is here, and rather than have him and Ms. Haley sit through probably a lengthy discussion, I'd like to jump ahead to item 5, if everybody's okay with that, or item 4, sorry. Exactly. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we have Mr. Dave Shields and Ms. Ann Haley presenting.
Ladies first.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared to give a presentation. From your letter, I thought we were coming here just for a
For
discussion.
any questions?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it to Christine to maybe guide us through and where she wants any comments from the trustees.
There we go. So we had a discussion in May. Oh, wait a minute, not in May. Hang on, sorry, I don't have the right report. Yeah. So we talked during a budget discussion in June, thank you, that our present complement of crossing guards are 3, and they're all located in Cobden, and that there are no crossing guards in Westmeath or in Beachburg. And a number of ideas were batted about, and then you folks asked me to get a hold of the principals of the schools and the trustees to come in so that we could have a discussion to determine if there is a need for expanding our complement of crossing guards. And Mr. Shields was kind enough to provide some background material that you've got in your package regarding from the Ontario Traffic Council. There's a list of rules and regulations as long as your arm, and Dave made the comment to me that setting up new crossing areas now is quite a bit more complex than it was in previous years. There's a lot of traffic studies and vehicular studies and pedestrian studies, and there's all kinds of studies that are required now according to the Ontario Traffic Council. So I guess the discussion is, are we good with what we have? Do we need to beef it up? And Dave also made the comment to me that in order to be in compliance, we should have current police checks on an annual basis from the current contingent of crossing guards that we have in order to be compliant. And staff will be moving forward with that. So that's the nature of the discussion.
Any questions with regards to Christine's report? Councillor McLaughlin?
Well, I read through most of this, there's a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of different things. And personally, after reading some of this, I've decided that maybe we should just leave it as is until somebody decides that they need and we have to do some studies. So I would be in favor of just leaving it as is. I appreciate all the good information that was given to me, which told me, whoa. So,
if you want me to comment on it, I was looking at the article in the Whitewater News about your discussion, and you were discussing perhaps we would be paying for some of this, and we haven't done that for a long time. I'll give you a little background. There was a trustee ran and was successful in Pembroke, and he ran on a campaign to return the crossing guards to Pembroke. Well, he happened to be a bank manager, so he ended up chair of our finance committee. When it came to budget time, he said, well, I ran on a campaign to return the crossing guards, so he couldn't get a seconder for his motion. So, trustees, the way we're funded is very tightly packaged, enveloped, I guess you'd say. And because of the crossing guard information that it passed on, it's clearly a municipality responsibility to pay for that. I just wanted to clarify that part. And I send emails to trustees all across the province because I'm involved in the Ontario School Board Association, and it was consistent. No school board pays for crossing guards. So I just want to clarify that part. And there was a request for our principals to come out, but as Councillor McLaughlin has pointed out, when you read through this, it's clearly not something that we're going to send our principals down to Main Street, Cobden to check on the traffic. So that's why they're not here, along with a bit of labor disruptions that we've had. They've been pretty busy.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I do have a motion in front of me. Do you want me to read it? Moved by Reeve Miller, seconded by Councillor Mackay. Be it resolved that the Corporate Services Committee of the Township of Whitewater Region recommends to Council that the existing complement of 3 crossing guards in Cobden be maintained, and that staff request the crossing guards to provide a current police clearance certificate from the local police services. Any discussion? I only have one comment. Are they responsible for paying for that current police certificate, or will the township pay for that?
I would like to recommend that the township pay for that.
So can I add Reeve Miller and Councillor Mackay from the local police services at the township's expense? Mayor Johnson.
Can we add to that we're going to remain with the same system we have now?
That's what it says.
I'm sorry?
Complement of 3 crossing guards in Cobden be maintained,
Right.
and that the staff request the crossing guards to provide a current police check.
Okay, but I meant, we were looking at crossing guards in Beachburg and Westmeath. Have you specified, if that's what that means, I just didn't take it that way, I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's okay.
And that's the second time tonight, maybe the last time.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much for coming out.
Did you want, I noticed your item 5 is pupil accommodation review from our board. Did you want me to stay around for that?
Sure, that'd be great. I guess we'll jump to item 5. Is that okay? Page 69. Okay, I'll read the motion. Moved by Councillor Mackay, seconded by Reeve Miller. Be it resolved that the Corporate Services Committee of the Township of Whitewater Region offers the following feedback to the Renfrew County District School Board regarding the Pupil Accommodation Review Policy. A 75-home subdivision is approved for Cobden. It will be built by Vonachere Excavating Inc. in phases beginning in 2016. This will undoubtedly lead to increased enrollment in Cobden Public School. The Corporate Services Committee wishes to receive a written invitation to discuss and comment on the recommended options in the school board's initial staff report that will affect schools in Whitewater Region, including the villages of Beachburg, Westmeath, and Cobden, as well as the high schools that service our township, being Opeongo, Fellas, and Bishop Smith. Any further discussion? Councillor Olmsted?
I think maybe we're missing some Renfrew schools in there, like RCI and St. Joe's, I think, service our township as well, the Haley area.
Yes, they do.
Should add those.
St. Joe's would be under the Catholic School Board. So just RCI. Christine?
Thank you, Chair. So it was my understanding, boiling the 13 pages down to this cover sheet and then giving you their summary out of the report, which is 13 of 13, that if we wanted to participate in this process, we would have to provide them with this request to receive a written invitation. That was the way I understood it.
I'd also, Deputy Clerk has mentioned that Bishop Smith is also under the Catholic School Board, so we'd remove that one as well. Is that okay? So it would be the high schools that service our township, being Opeongo, Fellows, and RCI. Any comments at all? Mr. Shields?
No, that was a little different than what I had expected. We're looking at our pupil accommodation review process right now, and so there was a letter sent out, and you may not have received it yet, for input from municipalities on it. The government's changed the rules on that. You know, it's an ARC process, it's been called, and it usually, you know, we look at the enrollment in different schools and that sort of thing. And in the past, the last time I was here was in the basement. Councillor McLaughlin, I think, is the only one that was there for that, and that's when we were closing Ross Mindview School. When I saw that, I didn't want, you know, everybody to think we're closing schools all over the place, because that's not on the radar. We're just looking at reviewing our process. So there's opportunities like that. for us to get together and chat about those sorts of things. There's another issue that's coming down from the government, and it's community use of schools. So we're looking at that policy too. That may be something, for a conversation another time, if you're short of things to do. And the other one is community hubs. That's another issue that we're looking at. I believe, I don't know, you probably all go to the Good Roads Convention. That was one of the workshops or presentations. I believe, I know we sent one of our people from the School Board Association, one of our vice presidents, Laurie French. Bob Sweet was the one that chaired that conversation, if anybody remembers that or were there. Anyway, that's another issue that, is coming down the pipes that we might want to discuss at some point.
Mayor Johnson?
That's kind of what I thought the discussion was going to head into also. Like, for instance, our emergency preparedness plan could incorporate schools as a housing system for emergencies, and we could involve more. We could involve more of our seniors programs and put our schools to more of a use than what we are right now, in partnership with the school board possibly. And that's something that I think is part of the study you are looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of differences between schools. Cobden, for example, and Beachbury, they don't have custodians there in the evenings, whereas as the high schools, Opeongo would have custodians there. So there's not a cost of having somebody open the schools, if the community wanted to use them and that. I don't know if it sounds like you're on a different, sort of a branch than I am. But those are the kinds of things that, we can discuss at a later date. I don't want to take up time at your meeting tonight, but I just wanted to set those seeds up there so that, I know I talked to Mayor Johnson at a social function one time and said we should sit down over a coffee and look at some areas that, of common interest. I prefer to come here not when we're closing schools like the last time. We can have some conversations about some of the issues that are common to all of us.
And I guess this is what this motion is, because in the draft summary of pupil accommodation review processes, this came from the school board, Christine? Or was this prepared by yourself?
That came from the school board.
Page 13. So it says that written invitations will be made to single and upper tier municipalities and other community partners that expressed an interest prior to the accommodation review process.
The clerks got together today, Chair, and we have sent an email saying that you've left somebody out, as in the lower tier municipalities. So I think that'll probably be revised. I don't think the school board really understood the nomenclature properly.
Right. So this is the motion that's before us now. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Thank you for sticking around and clarifying that.
Dave, I'm always interested in the school board paying for something, so be prepared if we sit down for a coffee who might be footing the bill. But I'd like to make that sooner than later.
That's a little early. Can we just have, I've been requested to have a water break and a bio break. Water.